Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Congo Hour. I am your host, Wayna Dobson, along with my buddy, Mr. Congo. Trippy has the evening off. So, Mr. C, how are you tonight?
I'm just great.
You are?
Yeah, had a great day. Trippy had a good day. He's having fun with his kids.
Very good.
He doesn't spend too much time with them, so it's good when he gets a chance to do it.
Most
So I was
definitely.
glad to set in for him tonight.
Well, I, and let me say this Trippy's an excellent father.
Excellent. Excellent.
He's up early, he makes sure they get to school.
He feeds them.
And you know what? My coworker Audrey Milton, her grandson and Mason are both on the same baseball team.
Oh my God.
And she was so impressed that Trippy was actually on the field helping Mason like run the bases. Of course in his uniform, but he was out in the field working hard.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's what gives the kids the inspiration.
Most definitely. So, as always, we have a fun and exciting show. The first segment of the show, we have Eben Flagg, who is the owner and proprietor of a salon and a new spa that's right here in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. And it is a fabulous spa. And he brought one of his massage therapists with him. And then we have Pastor Curry, who is the great pastor of the most exciting church in Wilmington. You do know that, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
You can just go there and see my picture.
Oh, yes, because
That's right.
the fellowship hall has
Absolutely.
a portrait of you there on the
Hey,
wall.
that's what gets it
That's
exciting.
what, I knew you was going to say that. And then we have Dr. Donald Morton with him as well. And I'm so glad Trippy's not here because you know how he always
I
trying to
understand.
start stuff. So, and we have a special little host that's going to come on with the two of us as well in the next segment. So, and then we have OP who's here to announce an event that's coming here in the city, actually at PS DuPont. And then we have funeral announcements and some community news. So we're going to go right into our first segment. You okay with that?
I think it's wonderful.
All right. Evan, welcome back to the Congo Hour.
Thank you very much.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Doing great.
Good. I'm really excited about you and your wife, Evan, because you have a salon, Babe Styling Studio.
We do.
And now you opened up a spa.
We did.
So let's talk about this. What inspired you to open up the spa? Then you can introduce the massage therapist.
Okay. 5 years ago, we got married, and right after our marriage, we went and did a wedding down in Cancun, Mexico. And after we got finished working, we decided to go to the spa. Spa was called Millet Spa. From the Excellence Resort, and I took her there, and we went and we just enjoyed ourselves, and it was a moment in my life that I will never forget. So as she was getting her massage, I was wondering how we can bring this back home and how we could bring this whole moment back home, and we had a chance to. We worked hard for 5 years with our salon and our barbershop also on the same block. And we were given the opportunity now to open up a third spot. And it came back to me that, I wanted to bring the spa and what I experienced from Cancun back to Wilmington, and I did.
Okay.
I did.
And what's the name of the spa and the location?
The spa is called Piache. It's on 2nd and Market in Wilmington. We call it Piache. One, because in Latin it means medicine doctor. So with the wellness and the spa and the massaging and all aromatherapy going on, we thought that fit. Also, Piache also has the initials of all 6 of our children. Peyton, Isaiah, Amaya, Chloe, Haven, and of course Lil Evan. So we named it that, and it kind of stuck, and it's been doing pretty good.
Okay, that is creative. And let's introduce your massage therapist.
So this is Anwar. Anwar is one of our massage therapists, along with Marlena Gale. I couldn't ask for a better therapist. As a matter of fact, he just massaged my mother, and she put on Facebook that her inner soul has been changed.
Okay, all right, I love it.
So, yeah, he has hands from God, and he chooses to lay them on people to heal. So, I'll let him introduce himself and go on with it.
My name is Anwar Diggs. Originally, I'm from Georgia. I'm a preacher's kid.
Okay.
So, this is, what I've been called to do massage. I've been massage therapist for 12 years. But the way I've met Eben was divine appointed. When his therapist didn't show up for a massage, and my name was thrown out there, like there's a local massage therapist, they called me an hour before the massage. I walk into the spa and I'm like, here I am. And after I did the 2 massages that he asked me to do, he was like, let's talk numbers. And I was like, apparently I'm supposed to be here. So, that's pretty much it. Married, 3 kids, born again believer, and I do lay hands on my clients and I just let God do the work.
I love it. I love it. What are the hours of operation?
Hours of operation are from 9 o'clock till about 7 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday. Saturday in the morning, we're there from 8 in the morning to about 5 or 6. Sundays and Mondays are appointment only. So you can.
Wait a minute.
Sundays and Mondays are appointment
Okay.
only. So if you are a stylist or a barber, we're normally closed on Sundays and Mondays. So if you want to make your appointment to come, if you're a stylist or a barber, come during those times. We are open. Our hours are available.
You know what I was thinking, Mr. C?
The funeral home industry can at sometimes be very stressful. This would be a great gift for your staff.
What you think about that?
Well, I'm not in charge anymore, so that'll be a trip.
So we can forget about that.
So whatever he says goes.
Goes.
Yep.
Have you ever had a massage before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
Actually,
wonderful.
For Father's Day, we're doing, men can come in there and get a whole feet treatment. They get their feet bathed, scrubbed down, massaged. I had one maybe last Tuesday, and the spa is actually 8 doors from my salon. I skipped back to work.
Did you?
That's how light my feet felt, and I hadn't felt that wonderful in a while. So, yeah, I enjoy the spa.
So let's talk about the Father Day special.
Sure.
What days is it going to be offered?
Well, we're from now until Saturday before Father's Day. We'll be offering 20% off massages for the men, and it would include a foot treatment also with that. So, if you're interested in making your father or husband feel like a king, PI's the spot for you.
Okay. So ladies, I need you to flood the phone line, dial the number that's on the screen to make an appointment for that special person in your life. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Is there anything?
Let
you
me
have
tell
any
you a
questions?
story, yes.
Oh, okay.
I had never had a pedicure
Pedicure. Yeah.
until 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was like you or not, but I decided that I wanted some of the crust off my feet because they were pretty crusty.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea of all the dead skin. When I looked down at the floor, I thought it was snowing, and the poor little girl who was the first to take on that project, I know she went home and rested well that night. But I made it my responsibility to get my feet done about once a week.
Okay.
and I'll have to visit you now.
Yeah.
Because I'd never skipped out there. So I'm going to have to go and see what it's like to skip.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll welcome you. Come on by.
That is so
Look,
funny.
look forward to it. And I guarantee you that how long have you been doing that?
Well, we just opened up about a month ago.
Okay.
We've been on the same block for 5 months,
Okay.
and hope to be there for a very long time, God willing. But we've been there for now a month, and like I said, Anwar and Marlena are our therapists. Marlena is also a esthetician, so
Okay.
she does the facials, and I mean it's wonderful. So, you make some time, come on down, we'll take care of you.
Thank you very
You
much.
got it.
And I want to add the decor and the atmosphere in your salon is, and it now that you said how you came about doing it, it is like you're at a resort.
Absolutely.
So,
We
yeah.
actually took the wood, the actual wood that made this Malay spot up in Cancun, and we designed the tables and the framing after it, and the actual aroma in there makes you feel when you walk in the door that you're in a resort in Jamaica or a resort in Cancun. We wanted to bring the outside in and bring that experience to Delaware. So hope you guys enjoy it.
All right, so Mr. Congo's going to come and get his feet. I'm
Yes.
going to come and get multiple services
Absolutely.
done, and we'll
Absolutely.
share our experience with the viewing audience.
Would love to have you.
All right, thank you so much for coming.
You got it.
All right, so we're going to actually not take a break, we're going to go straight over to Studio B. We have our friend, OP, who's here to promote an event.
I'd like to thank the Congo Hour for letting me come on here and introduce our show that's come up this Friday at PS School. We're doing a pre-holiday show with Blue Magic, Skip Woolley, and Cuba Bubba Ice. The tickets are $30. And nobody ever do anything for Father's Day. No, we do something for Mother's Day. So we figured we'll bring a show to the city of Wilmington. It's going to be real nice. You can purchase your tickets from OP, Larry Carter, Cole, or Charles Potter at 2605. The tickets are $30 for this Friday. We also will have tickets at the door if you cannot catch one of those guys selling the tickets. So make sure you come out and pass the word. This Friday, we carry it back to the old school PS DuPont, 701 34th Street, Wilmington, Delaware. And I can be reached at 302-218-0554. That's Blue Magic coming to PS DuPont. So pass the word, tell a friend, and bring a friend. And I just thank the Congo Hours again for letting me come and introduce the big show for the Father's Day. It's a pre-Father's show. So we're going to hope everybody can come out and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome back to the show. As you can see, Mr. Congo and I have a beautiful co-host with us, and this is Sister Ashley Curry. You want to wave to the viewing audience? So, Trippy, when you and Trippy are not available,
I understand. I was thinking about that.
little Miss Ashley can come help me out.
We just have to get her contracts written up here so that
She's going to be expensive.
I
trust
can
me.
understand that. I
Because
understand that.
I was on Facebook, and Pastor Curry puts up encouraging words and messages, and Miss Ashley was there sitting next to her father, and he says, "Ashley, would you like to say hello?" So she did her little princess wave, and from there she talked about Jesus walking on the water and how Jesus loves you. So Ashley really loves Jesus, don't you, Ashley? Yes, okay. So we have, as you see, we have Dr. Curry and Dr. Donald Morton here, and we're going to, actually Trippy, it was a little over a month ago we had them both on, and Trippy wanted me to reschedule them to come on, just talking about things that's on in the city of Wilmington. So now the mayor has announced a comprehension plan for public safety, and that's what we're going to talk about on this evening. So gentlemen, welcome to the Congo Hour.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is a little bit, is this
Do you have anything for Sammy's Corner? Is this going to be a part of Sammy's Corner too?
Whatever they want.
Okay, all right, okay. So, Dr. Curry, neither one of you are any strangers to Wilmington, but if you would both, for just maybe less than a minute, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
I'm Pastor C.T. Curry, pastor of Wilmington's most exciting church, although we've been labeled as Delaware's most exciting church, the church where everybody is somebody and Christ is Lord.
All right.
Associate Pastor, Tabernacle Full Gospel Baptist Cathedral. Bishop Aretha Morton is my pastor. That's how they do it, right? Yes.
All right. So I just really my life has been hectic lately. So I just had a chance to glance over the plan. So and actually we're going to open up the phone lines too as well so that we can get some opinions and questions from our viewing audience. So Dr. Curry, we'll start with you. If you would be kind and share if yes, you agree with the mayor's plan or no, you don't, and a little bit about why, and then Donald, you can jump in.
Well, Wayna, let me tell you, I am a full support of the commissioner's report. It mesmerized me to see the level of research, the level of depth that they went into in order to put that plan together. You know, when I was looking at the plan and I read every last line, nothing was really unturned. And I said on my broadcast this morning that I'm looking forward to seeing the people or how they're going to try to spin it. Because the reality of it is, this situation where we have $4 million, everybody was claiming, Mr. C, everybody was claiming, Wayna, hey, not everybody, excuse me, certain people on certain sections of the city was complaining, hey, we need to support and adopt the whole plan. But what they did not know is that the whole plan costs $4 million additional money every year. The mayor and Chief Cummings got together and they worked through it, and now their plan is $800,000 a year, and by it being $800,000 as opposed to $4 million, I'm looking forward to seeing what City Council and others are going to do with this whole situation. And I read it, and it is certainly strong. And one last thing before I switch over to Pastor Donald is it's amazing how this group, who really were against the mayor, how he came out and he was able to put together a program that really is friendly to the African American community. More policing always scares me. I think we should have effective policing, but most of the times it's to harm the community that's already oppressed. So when I read this report, I saw police officers out of their cars. I saw a new organization that really speaks to an urban area, not a suburban one.
Okay.
And that's important to me.
All right, Donald.
A month and some change ago, we came and we talked about the plan, and all we asked for at that time was give the mayor some time, right? Let's let him digest what has been presented, and let's let him recommend what he thinks is important. I will be the first to admit that I'm not a policing expert. Dr. Curry is not a policing expert, right? So we had to leave it up to the experts to define what is or is not important in any particular situation. I know the plan that has been presented now by Chief Cummings and our mayor, and I am in full support of what they have put forth. 83% of what has been put forth now is consistent with what the requests were in the original document. 83%, right? The other 17% are things, personnel issues and things that cost a boatload of money to implement. You can't, so to Dr. Curry's point, everyone who clamored for us to embrace the entire document without knowing the numbers that it would take to effectuate such a document now has to respond to this next document that has been presented. And I want to celebrate those brothers for taking their time, doing the due diligence, having all the facts there, and saying we can do this, to Dr. Curry's point, effectively with $800,000 juxtaposed to $4 million that it would take to embrace the entire other document.
Okay,
And since we're on the Congo Hour, can I just add this?
sure.
It's important to me. he made, Pastor Donald made a comment that the original document, I think he really only meant the document that came out first.
Right, right.
Because it is very clear. Chief Cummings said it at the press conference. Most of what was in the report was given by Chief Cummings.
Right.
The report writer in my community, I can't speak for the educated, in my community, most of the report that was given was stolen and put in their report as if they are the authors of the work.
Okay.
It was already starting, it was already moving, but it now became, hey, we're going to put it in our report. So it's not like let's buy this report. They were already doing much of that.
Got you. Mr. C, you want to add anything? I was going to read a part of the plan.
I think that's very important.
Okay, alrighty. So here it says the plan also adds 12 officers to the homicide violent crime unit. It dedicates 25 officers to community policing efforts throughout 3 sectors deployment. And Donald mentioned, and it implements 83% of the recommendations from the Wilmington Public Safety Strategies Commission report. And what that is going to do, it says here that an officer, part of the plan, an officer will be assigned to the Wilmington Police Athletic League and the William Hicks Anderson Community Center, which will strengthen relationships between the police and local children and their families. The officers will work with the community to identify problems and create a safe haven for youth. It also talked about, with assistance of the Violent Reduction Network, the Wilmington Police Department scheduled all officers to participate in a Blue Courage training and to build community policing principles throughout the entire department. That part there, Mr. C, it touched base with what we just talked about last week when we had Captain Fahim here, talking about you talked about having relationships with the community, the police officers.
Well, I think that I am probably the worst person in the world to ask about the police department. I'm the worst. So I don't believe that riding around in cars, and I don't want to even stigmatize anything or anybody, but I believe that the social work sector is the winning side of the police department, not the homicide and all that stuff. That's cool. But we want preventive action instead of reactive action. And I think that all that is reactive. And I think if you create more enthusiasm in the preventive side, the homicide side will be easy because the community will police it.
Sure.
And so I am, I hear about all the, wanting to create bigger departments. But but my theory, and I'm like Dr. Morton here, I'm not an expert, but I hear so much in the community, and then when I travel, that's the first thing I do. Whenever I see a policeman by himself, I interrogate him, Not that I'm being mean or evil, I just like to know what's going on. And what I find out, that the whole training has absolutely nothing to do with community. So if we're moving in that direction, I think it's wonderful. But I think you have to do it with zest. I mean, you really have to not scratch the surface. You have to go in there with saying, we're here to upgrade the quality of life for that community.
Yeah.
And as you said, Dr. Curry, that we're not here to stand over, watch and muscle them or whatever it might be. It is the community that they're being paid to protect and not to harass.
Right.
And I'm fortunate, I have a lot of friends on the police department, but I can't speak as for experience. I can only speak from people who have had a very negative experience.
Sure.
And when I look at the people who are marching throughout this country, they're not marching saying that our police department is fantastic.
Agree with you that the prevailing ethos of the police department right now is not one that would suggest protect and serve, right? But this plan, even with the truncated version of the community policing, what Chief Cummings suggested is that community policing needs to be the thread throughout the police department, so that there would not be just one little department of community policing. Everybody's a community police officer, which is, to your point, what really absolutely has to happen if we're going to take preventative measures with regard to the police department. And I want to celebrate Cummings, who I believe, and you know, I've been known to be wrong, but I believe this brother has the heart of the community. And is developing policies that would suggest that. What we're seeing is the dismantling of a police department and the erection of an entirely different police department with new, not just new strategies, but new departments and ways of looking at how we serve our communities, particularly marginalized communities, which I think is important. I celebrate the plan. I think because what you just said is exactly what the plan does.
Right.
I guess one of my questions would be, how could all policemen not be a community policeman?
Because they have run away from what they used to be. The whole, when I read in the report that there was a reorganization of the police department, I got very interested. And they have heard the community. We need everyone to think as a community police officer. That's how it was years ago.
Absolutely.
And that's how he's trying to bring it back.
Absolutely.
And that's why I fell in love with the report. But if you read the other commission's report, the state, whatever you call that, the report, if you read that, it does not, it speaks of a segment. But this plan calls for everyone to consider themselves a part of this community that they serve and protect.
Absolutely.
I will say this, and this is going to put a hole in some of your thinking.
Okay.
How can we have and I don't know what's projected, you know, we're not going to always have perfect people.
Absolutely.
And when that, let's say a police officer gets out of whack, at this point, he is managed by his peers. If it is a complete community effort, I think that we should have some community people involved in a board that's been so resisted, and why the resistance.
Now, one of the things that I did read in that, and that was one of the questions I asked Chief Cummings, is that they are restructuring how we report incidents with the police department. Because at this current time, to report something creates other monsters for you. I agree with you. I don't think I saw in that report where it speaks to a community hearing board, because I think that's what you're running to, and I agree, because I think at some point the community that you serve should hold you accountable. So if we have some issues, we feel more comfortable when we know it's a community of our peers, those who we trust in the community, to hear it objectively. Some of the things that I've read in this report speaks to that in the department, but I think what you're asking for goes a little bit further, and I agree.
And let me say this, it is my hope, I'm a part of the Wilmington Police Citizens Advisory Council. It is my hope that a natural metamorphosis of that particular board would be exactly what you're saying. At least that would be my recommendation, that these individuals that are members of the community would be exactly what you are asking for.
And I think if
So
you
I
have
think that's possible.
if you have a conversation with Chief Cummings, he's that type of guy.
Absolutely.
He would look at that and say that's something we need to explore. And that's why I appreciate it. Do you know across this country, he's highly respected? There are national organizations who are using Wilmington now
As a model.
as a model.
Absolutely.
From this report already. And this has been going on since September, not when that report came out in February or March.
I wanted to say that we promised, I know last week we promised to open up the phones, and we didn't. So I definitely want to open up the phones to those of you who have read the report. I want to get some calls from those who agree as well as those who disagree, so that we can have a conversation about it. So Alvin, if you would be kind and put the number and Miss Ashley's going to help me with the phone lines. You okay with helping me answer the phones, Miss Ashley? Okay. So there's the number. So we're going to wait. We got to wait for people to call us, Ashley, and then we're going to hit this button right here. Okay? This one right here, sweetheart. And I'll let you know when. All right. So I was laughing because not laughing, but Mr. C said he was going to poke a hole in it, but we all agree with
Yes.
that point. Yeah, I think it's very important that we hold
And
the people
none of us
accountable.
are suggesting that debate isn't important, right? Healthy conversation is important. But now you have a responsibility to respond to what you originally said.
Right.
And, if 83%, I don't care what document it is, there's never been a document that I've written or read that 100% of the document is embraced. Just doesn't happen, right? So 83% of that, to Dr. Curry's point, has already been working. It's not as if they decided, oh, since this comes out, let us do this. That's not what happened. 83% of the things are things that had already been working. And so now the objective is, how do we move forward? How do we build consensus, to your point, right? And how do we move forward so that our communities are the safer as a result of this well-respected? I want to overemphasize what Dr. Curry says. Chief Cummings is well-respected across the nation, not just as an African-American chief, but as a chief of police. And it's important that we, and more than Mayor Williams, I wanted to hear from Chief Cummings. Because he's the expert. I needed to hear from Chief Cummings.
Right. I'm sitting here smiling because I'm reading what was written, and one of the things that they're going to be doing is what's called TAPS, and it stands for Targeted Analytical Policy Systems, and that's one of the things that I had to give kudos to County Executive Tom Gordon, because the Newcastle County has been doing this for quite some time now. Under Chief Settings and Director Bryant, who is the Director of Public Safety. So I think it's really good when someone else has an ideal and someone else can be bettered by the ideal, that they're not saying, oh no, we're not going to do it. So they see that it's working, so hey, let's do this as well. So
What makes you think that, see again, I don't know the documents, but what part of it makes you feel comfortable that this will have a tremendous effect on a community relationship between, and again, we got these two people, the police and the community, when I think that it should be that the police are an advocate for the community.
Without question.
And so I think as the sooner we get away from the police here and the community here is going to be the first step where we can go forward. I think the kind of confidence that has to be developed in the community to eradicate, the structure over here to me means absolutely nothing if the community isn't a part of the structure.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And if they don't buy into it, as I said earlier, because they right now, when you talk to not us, we will all be affected differently. So we have to have people who are affected in a way that they don't have confidence in allowing this system to work for them, and that's what it should be. That the police should be advocates for the community. And I would like to know for myself, how do you make that happen when right now they are diametrically opposed to each other?
I think it starts with training. It's a part of the document. He's not training from the rookies up. He's training from the top down. There's a lot of training that has to happen, but let's not fool ourselves. It took years for us to get to the point that we are right now. It's going to take years for us to get to where we need to be. But with a plan, we're able to map that out. And I really do believe that when I read the part and heard him speaking of it, of how we will be training the captains and sitting and going into retreats to make sure everyone understand the community that we are serving, as well as being a part of that community. It doesn't start with the rookie who may not be able to enforce, but it's starting from the top. And as I always say at Zion Fair, if the brain is discombobulated, the whole body will be. It starts with the brain. So that's how they're doing the training, so that it will be a department who says we are the community are we. Bad grammar, but let me have it. So I think it starts with training, but if we think next month this plan is going to come and we're going to have the best, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
Dr. Samuel Chan writes a book called Cracking Your Church's Culture Code. And in that book, he writes that you can have vision all day, but culture will eat vision for lunch. That if you don't understand how to change culture, the culture of an institution, right? What's important, its values, its ethics, then nothing happens. What makes me believe in the document is belief in the man that produces the document. And I know his heart is to transform. He's a transformative figure, right? To transform the culture of the department. Because you're right, the systems by themselves, they won't change anything. But the culture, if the ethos of the organization and the police department has changed, we'll see situations change dramatically. But Dr. Curry is absolutely right. It's going to take years. So for everybody who's ready next month to say the plan's not working, then I mean, you're fallacious in your thinking to suggest that we're going to do in a month what it took years to get into. It's just not going to happen.
And by the way, it's not going to work in a month because the real issue is not policing.
Correct.
It's economics.
Correct. Correct.
So I want to keep that in the front.
Correct.
This week I'm not talking about it on any show, but the real issue in our community with all this violence is because in desperate times people do desperate things.
Correct.
So with desperate things you can have the perfect plan and people to execute it perfectly. But until they get jobs, until things happen in that area, we're going to still have to lock up our people and those who are in desperate needs. I want to make sure that was said tonight.
Because you talked about it earlier. This notion of a comprehensive plan, this ability to have a full circumference of a plan is absolutely necessary. So policing is important. It is majorly important. But it is not the sole reason for which we're in the situation that we're in. Got to talk about jobs.
I
Got to talk about
apologize.
family.
We do
gotta
have a
talk about
call.
numbers.
I'm waiting for the phone to ring, but so this is a new phone. People were calling in. Okay, here we go. No, okay. We have to pay attention. It doesn't ring.
Oh, it doesn't ring.
It kind of sort of blinks,
kind of
so I
phone that
saw
does
it
that.
name. But going back, I want to switch back over to the people. Like Mr. Congo often talks, and we all often talk about the relationships between the police and with the community. So we have to some kind of way change the mindset of those in the community as well, who kind of give the police officers a bad rap and don't basically no longer have a relationship. Like when I was in grade school, we had Officer Friendly, who would come to the schools, and so children had a relationship with the police officers. Now, children, they kind of like don't care for police officers. They think, from media that they're bad people. So there's some kind of way that not only while they're training to be sensitive and going through community policing and things like that, there's some kind of way that simultaneously we have to change the minds of the people.
Well, I agree with that, but let me push back a little bit, right? The responsibility of what has happened with regard to police and community, by and large, is on police. The police have to change their perspective. You can't re-victimize communities who are, okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good evening.
This is Mark.
Mark?
Yes, Mark.
Go
Hello?
ahead. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I watch your show a lot, and I like it. And I'm from Wilmington.
Okay. And do you have a comment about tonight's show?
Yeah. It's a good show tonight. You know, I watch this show all the time. My name is Mark Henry.
Well, thank you so very much for watching, Mark.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You just take care and God bless.
God bless you. Okay. Okay, so Miss Ashley, can you tell me when this, oh, there it goes. Hit this button for me. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Thank you. I just want to know, was the four just going on today?
What's your name?
I'm sorry. Okay.
So my point is that we have to be careful not to re-victimize communities who have been systematically oppressed over time, right? That the ownership of change right now belongs on the police department. You're right, we don't have officer friendly, but that's not a community issue, that's a police issue, right? And when, as long as we do have to have some sense of sensitivity because there are great officers. Captain Fahim is a phenomenal officer, right?
Right.
So we have to highlight that, but we have to, at the same time, have to hold police departments accountable for the behaviors that they exhibit.
Okay. We definitely need, I know the phones are ringing, but we're going to have to wrap up now because I still have to do the funeral announcements. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
I don't believe that, definitely economics plays a very important part, but economics does not play such a strong part where it's stronger than values. And I believe that the values that people who, when we get in desperate times, the values is what gets us over the hump and prevents us from getting into trouble. I know of people that were on welfare, but sent their kids to college, and the kids realized that they had some responsibilities, and instead of going out playing ball, they got jobs and all that. So I think that the values and that kind of implementing in the minds of our people that is what's important, instead of $100 sneaks and all kinds of other things, when we got a goal up here. And that goal, along with the values, will help 90% of our people. That's where I think we also have a responsibility with our police department, is that we need someone in there to act as a catalyst.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. But I just want to push back a little bit. I recognize, Mr. Congo, you are a social person, social worker type brother. So quite natural, you would take that position. I agree. But in the older days, my days, I am a product of a welfare mother who said my children will be educated. All 5 of us, we are now educated. However, I cannot say that is the society upon which we live in now. And that's the problem. While we do believe that values are very much important, and we need to find a way to make sure that we start reinstituting values. The reality of it is we're not there because there are no jobs. There's discrimination from the top down. We would think having an African American president would have certainly helped African Americans. But the racism in this country is so rooted that it is not even touching us. So I disagree. I agree that I agree with you that we should have values, but I disagree that the values, it ain't here. Look, I'm not going to buy my daughter who can afford $100 sneaks. My values won't let me.
Because you don't need that for
it's the brain.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Just got a call from Trippy, and there's 2 gentlemen in the green room who I'm going to have come in. I'm going to do the funeral announcements. I'm going to make it all happen before 9 p.m. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming back on.
Thank you.
We'll definitely have to have a follow-up conversation. So, anything else, Mr. C, before we
No.
end? All right. So take a break and we'll be right back. We have 4 young men sitting here with us. Trippy wanted to give them recognition for doing an excellent job, and they're all going to different colleges. Is that correct? So if you would tell us your name and what school you're going to and what you're going to major in.
I'm Raymond Jones. I'm going to University of Delaware, and I'm majoring in business tech.
I'm Keywan Selby. I'm going to Delaware State University, and I'm going to major in business management.
I'm Quadri Henderson, going to University of Pittsburgh, majoring in sports medicine.
I'm Teron Selby. I'm going to Delaware State University. I'm majoring in business management.
All right, and all 4 of you are friends, Trippy said. Is that correct?
We're all
Oh,
cousins.
y'all are cousins.
That's my twin over there.
And that's your twin. That is phenomenal. 4 young men. And I apologize. So hopefully before you leave to go to school, we'll have you back on so that we can talk a little bit more, if that's okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming. But be still for 1 second. I have one announcement to make before our time is out. The 6th Annual Unity Day, sponsored by BVD Barbershop, will be this Saturday, June the 13th, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be held at the Eastside Charter School, 3000 North Claymont Street. And it's going to be fun and games. For more information, you can call T. Warren at 420-2152. Once again, for more information, please call T. Warren at 420-2152. I think we did it. Did we do it?
Very good.
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
to Trippy.
All right, thank you so much for tuning into the Congo Hour. I pray that this week is the best week of your life, and you'll be able to view this segment of the Congo Hour on our Facebook page, The Congo Hour. And once again, good night. Y'all want to wave to the camera? All right.